And now again, since the last 1.5 years, we have to build a structure, or we built a structure for tokens again, because most of the DeFi projects, what we are talking about here today, there's no equity. Which equity would you take most of the times? And but we have separated structures for equity investments and token investments, and we can give the LPs both of the exposures.
Is that do you think this is a trend going back to the problems, A, of volatility of what's happening in cryptocurrency market, B, deregulations, to go away from funds and basically become a private equity company, which per se has a higher level of, let's say, confidence among the investors? Is that like a trend? Because the numbers that I've seen, the crypto funds have actually had less investment in last year, while normal VCs is actually rising. Is there basically just a structuring away from that towards the other, just to have a little bit more investment confidence?
Well, I think it depends on what you're looking for as an LP. I'm going to answer just after, but we can notice a new phenomenon with the LPs is that now we had a shift with what they want. A lot of LPs now wants to get involved in crypto. They don't know what it is. They don't even know how to create a Binance account, but they want to be involved. If they're going to put 1%, 2% of what they have, that's fine. They want to be involved. We have a hype on the market because, okay, everyone's saying, yeah, Bitcoin went down, but for a year, we multiplied by 10x, right? So it's still a good one. I mean, absolutely. In general,
but still is 1% of the total market when you compare normal VCs with the
but you need to diversify yourself. And now, before we just had LPs that knew crypto, new blockchain. Now they don't understand, and they want to trust and to have someone who understands it and invest in it. And also we have a new thing that is passive incomes, right? And so because thanks for the DeFi and all those new mechanisms, now you can have more liquidity, more performances, faster, etc., etc. And people want to be involved. And this is why actually we created something else based in Singapore called Mensis Capital, but just focused on this, just on liquid assets.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to say. Venture capital and investing in liquid tokens is not the same. One is more a digital asset service provider, and the other one is venture capital, really finding startups early. We also do both. We founded a company called Gen2 Digital. It's a securitization company, and we securitize tokens in Guernsey. We reached $1 billion asset under control in that area now in April. And it's basically from the back around. You create tokens, you understand that institutional investors are not ready to invest in tokens, you put them in a vehicle and give them and make them bankable at the end of the day. And we're coming out now with 2 new products on that side. One is a DeFi product, so it's the top 8 DeFi protocols which are traded on Kraken, and one is a protocol product, and we put them in a classical AMC, so actively managed certificate in Guernsey, and you can book this normally in your bank account and have it in your normal brokerage deal with your bank. And I mean, that's what an institutional investor wants. No one wants to handle private keys and say, oh shit, I lost a private key, my 100 million is gone. That's not ready for that kind of business.
I understand. We're talking about DeFi and decentralization and democratization of investment. Funny enough, all the VC funds concentrating on blockchain are mostly institutional. So what's going on there? That's again a thing going in 2 directions. Why is actually retail not sexy enough, and why are there no offers for them?
Probably the first thing is investing is risky. So democratizing of investment is dangerous. Usually when a private person, a retail person can invest in 1 or 2 companies, they don't take the portfolio approach of having 20 companies and probably 2 are good 2 are fine, and 16 you lose. And always when this happens in the retail space, the regulator comes in. We have seen this, I think you have some people from Germany with Deutsche Telekom last time, 2001 or when it was. So then everyone, even the taxi driver, talked about I buy equity, but having no clue what risk they take at the end of the day. And so it's very important to have a portfolio approach also when you go retail. So we have to go to very low amounts and to do that. And at the end of the day, it's quite hard for startups with retail to get really to a scale. You have to really build an ecosystem. And then we are back in the first ICOs, where only on Reddit or something like that has been written and interesting stuff and people invested. But those have been not the usual retail guys, those have been tech freaks at the end of the day.
Yes. An interesting thing that I saw on all the websites actually from the panelists is that the VCs, when they try to attract entrepreneurs to come, they actually go with the thought that what you said as an ecosystem, that it's not only money that we're giving, it's actually much more. Now, how important is that from VC's perspective to attract real talent, so keep away the bullshitters, and from basically entrepreneurs' side to find the right partner?
Well, if you have the time, it's better to doing it like this way. But when you have if you have a small team like we have, you're receiving 1,500 DEC per year. You don't really have the time to accompany them. I mean, I'm talking for ourselves. We did it with a few projects because we didn't invest in much companies, because we wanted to keep this time to do so and helping them. Now we are in the context a little different for us. Like I said, we're trying to focus more on liquid investment, but this is personal strategy, right? And what we want to do in life, you know. But as an example, you have across the ages in the room here. They are sponsors of the event, and I am one of the investors with my partners. But this time it's personal investment, and I have the time to accompany them here and to do the token economics and everything. So we're trying to it's better if we can doing it that way, but you really need to have the time. I noticed we have been co-investing in several companies, all of them saying, we're going to help you.
But are you also a very early stage?
Besides doing introduction, seriously, we don't have time. I mean,
I understand. Are you also, because Ralph just mentioned that he's early stage. In that stage, probably ecosystem makes much more sense than when you go, let's say, Series A and above.
No, but we're doing early stage as well. I mean, you can't be more early than, of course, the age we're at the really bottom of it. But they are structured differently than us. They have a whole ecosystem. Is not their analyst who's going to help them. It's the whole ecosystem in Zug and everywhere, I suppose. So it's just a matter of structure. At some point, we wanted to create another company called Olem Studio, like creating a startup studio focused on blockchain. It took us too much time to create it, and so we dropped.
No, I think we have a total other approach. We have around 150 people working for us. So working for us, I mean, we pay them monthly a salary, not like a lot of people say they are working for me and they do an hour a month for me. They are working full time for us. So, and what we do on that side as well is, when you see a blockchain project, you can always invest in different areas. There's the protocol level, so the layer one. Then you have the project on the protocol level. So the project has to decide which protocol should I use. Should I go to Ethereum? Should I go to whatever, Tezos, Cardano, Casper, you name it. Then you need a custodian, you need a wallet, you need the exchanges and so on. And when you are now coming newly in this industry and you have to make all these decisions and go your own way in that area, that takes a lot of time. And we can help with the ecosystem. So in that case, I really believe that ecosystem matters. Because it's important that you find the right partner, the right protocol partner. okay, where can I trade this? Is there an OTC market? Who does the custody for me? This is all, we need to put these puzzles together. Not every project can build the whole value chain for itself. That's too expensive for startups at the end of the day. And that's not the idea of our space.
Well, the good thing in the space is that it's a small world, even if it's getting bigger. But most of the people know each other. And it's quite easy for us to say, okay, to do introduction without helping a lot, but doing introduction with the right network, etc. But since we agree on everything, next time when you do one-on-one, we are saying exactly the same thing. So
no. There is actually a difference in your business
it's even a good thing that there is too basic.
Well, yeah, we were supposed to be two more, but I think there is, well, just the first element that you guys have different business models. It's already, I think, shows that. And I know that the other two that were supposed to be here have also different approaches. But let me ask you one thing. To the audience, we will have questions within the next 3-4 minutes. I'll open the floor. So if you have any questions, please raise your hands accordingly so we can get you a micro. Let me come to the to two questions. Let's start with one element. COVID obviously needs to be an issue or a topic. It accelerated the digitalization, and through the same time where cryptocurrencies basically skyrocketed, I'm sure that it had also an impact on your business. What was the impact generally? Positive, negative?
Yeah, you have to look onto different sides of your business. As we also are an ecosystem builder, running co-working spaces, having events and so on, it had a huge impact on that side. On the other side, I think our world is very digitalized already. So everyone is used to work in remote teams. We see a lot of people moving around the world during the seasons and working from wherever. So I think for the startups themselves, which have been already funded and on the way, it wasn't a big challenge. But for new startups in that year, to onboard new people is a little bit more challenge, because decentralizing when you met already and have been sitting in a room is one thing, but directly from the start of a new employee being decentralized, it's difficult. And on the other side, finding the first investors remotely on Zoom or whatever. For myself as an investor is I want to sit in the room with the other person. I want to get a gut feeling, because it's not about the idea. It's not about which problem you solve. It's do I trust this guy or this girl, and do I invest in them? Because we are sure there will be 5 pivots until the exit. But I want to trust them. Are they really the smart guys I want to have?
I see.
And this was the big difference. You can't have these first meetings. So for us, for example, in the last year was a lot of follow-up investments, because we said we invest now in those projects which are already doing well. We can't meet the new teams. And that's what we are doing now. That's the reason why we organize now a lot of events where we are traveling again, where we are super grateful for Hadi putting this year together for the AIBC summit and so on. And that's also the reason why everyone is in Dubai since September last year. So I want to thank this country. It's amazing. I mean, the world meets in Dubai because we are able to meet in hotels, sit down and make connections. The follow-up, the details is digital. But the first thing to meet and to build trust in our trustless community is still sitting down and meet someone.
I will definitely quote that. Basically, one of the gurus of digitalization still does not compromise the first personal contact. That's actually a big level.
Now we're going to say that we're old school for this. Because
I don't think so.
Now there is a lot of people they don't want even to meet. You know, I used to spend 150 days in hotel rooms all over the world for the network, for the pipeline, the deal flow, etc., etc. And this changed everything for us. And for the same reason as well, you can't meet the team, and this is a big problem. Earlier we were saying that 50% of motivation to invest in a company is the team, the founders. So if you can meet them even on Zoom, I mean, it's not the same thing. You can't have the same feeling, and you can see how he behave around. You know, you need to see if the guy is confident, etc., etc. So yeah, actually this. So we see you just said we see that growing crypto, right?
Yes.
And so this is why as well we wanted to do a pivot,
Mhm.
because I think at the same time, because of all the governments locking down, etc., the amount of money printing, etc., I think a lot of people, and especially the youth, has been they lost. Yeah, there is a lack of confidence now in the financial system,
Yeah.
a little bit, and I think it's growing, and so you had a shift also in the investment, and now I think that there is more money in the crypto space that we had before. It
Yeah.
was just the same people selling and buying to
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah.
And I think now we have a lot more clients
Yeah.
and a lot more people involved. And this changed a lot of things. And I think that we need to adjust the strategy now.
Yes. Yeah. Did your relationship with your existing portfolio was also somehow affected by the recent developments in the last 2 years? Because a lot of people, because they could not travel, because everything was disrupted or not possible, they just turned their view in. I saw, I think in one of the I think it was your company who did a partnership with their existing portfolio company, like many other VCs, that basically they turn into their current portfolio and say, okay, that's valuable. We can actually invest a little bit more money with those. Did that happen within your portfolio?
I mean, a very important thing about venture capital companies, the first ticket is never everything. So
Yes.
a lot of people forget we have to double down. If the next round is coming and you as an early investor are not going in that round, there's a problem on the market at the end of the day. So yes, we worked more with our portfolio companies. We had luck because 20 of our investments we had before 12 weeks with us in Switzerland on our incubation program. So we know them very well and we have a good and established relation. And then it's easy also to have the virtual conversations.
Yes.
But a few of the investments we did, we probably saw one time, or I think one even we saw never. And then it's also hard to follow on because it's not the same natural feeling to meet and to be there. So I believe really in a digital world, and this is my business since 1998. Since I'm in the business world, I'm talking about digital transformation. But on the other side, I'm super conservative and I want to see the people and get my gut feeling. And 90% of my decision is based on the gut feeling. And I'm not a decision maker in our investment committee. That's important. We have a separated investment committee. I meet people, I bring them to them, and probably before we invest, I meet them again. This is for me, it's important that we have like a good corporate compliance story. Otherwise, they say, hey, Ralph was with them dining there, and now they invited him to dine, or he paid for them to dine, and now we are investing. No, that's not the thing. We have an investment committee deciding at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But for my personal decision making, 90% is my gut feeling.
I see. Any impact from you guys, like looking more internally instead of new projects?
Well, I was the main pipeline of deal flow because I was the main one who was traveling.
Exactly.
And so it broke the dynamics. It wasn't easy, and again, I don't really like those Zoom meetings. Well, I get used to it now, but I didn't really like it, and I think it's important. I mean, we are investing all over the world, right? I want to see the person in their own environment. I mean, if you're investing in a company in Asia, I mean, I need to understand the market. Is it completely different than in the US, than in Europe?
agree.
That I don't. We can. it's difficult to understand the market share. It's not the same culture. So you really need to see the environment and see people in their own environment. Absolutely. And understand if there is a real market behind their ideas. So for us, it was, again, we're not structured the same way. We are a small team, but so yeah, it broke the dynamics, and this is why we try to renew ourselves. We have, on the second fund we just launched in Singapore, besides the strategy of investment, we have one guy in Shanghai, two in France, one in the US, and one in Dubai. So we are already structured for the next pandemic, you know.
Interesting. Let's hope that's not going to come anytime soon. Let's open the floor. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to say we are quite blinded by the light, so you need to raise your hands so we can see who has any questions. Nobody? Okay, we have right here, first row. No micros? Okay.
Thank you, my pleasure. You know, guys, besides I'm also, as you said before, old school investor, but last year, starting from 2000, when COVID starts, starting from March, first time in my life, I will jump into that investments for no one. No gut feeling, no person in front of you, everything is done by Zoom. But you know, I got another feeling that that money comes back to me. What about that? What do you think? Is that new kind of investments going to be raised up, or is just some kind of joke, or just a message to nothing? Because what I feel, finally this time humanity tried to be with each other much more fair than 5, 10, or 15 years ago. Yes, you have to understand who's sitting in front of you on the some kind of sense, but now looks like digitalization and tries to do a little bit much more better, and much more humanity comes up. What do you think about that? Yes, I am, as investor, trying to do it once last year, and now I'm going to continue this, and it looks like it's a little bit better, and other feelings. How do you feel? How do you get into it?
Thank you. So, any particular person you want to address your question to?
Could you translate the question?
I just understand a part of it. So I'm gonna answer part of it.
No, I think it's not about the English. It's about the content.
The content. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna answer just what I have in mind, and then if I don't answer you, I'm sorry. I think, I mean, for us, because we can't meet people, because we can't sense those people and having a feeling, we turn ourselves on liquid assets. I don't have to see anyone, you know, and so we focused more on this. I don't know if it's a good thing, but we had to do a pivot like any other startups, you know. So so I don't really understand what you said by the money coming back, but yeah, the money came back.
Probably from my side, I think the last year has been very special when you invested in digital assets, because it would be better to don't do any due diligence and just put $1,000 in every project. This is called the bull market. And I know some people who got really rich in the last year, and I wouldn't say it's because of the knowledge behind. It's because of luck. and I'm sure we will see other times again where we will have to see what is behind, and that it's not normal to have 10,000% on any DeFi token. Why ever? We will come back to the normal times. We have seen that in 2017, we have seen it in 2020, and I'm looking forward to the next crypto winter and to see all the guys gone again.
Yeah, every couple of years you have something new, right?
Yeah.
So, and well, it's a market like this.
Which
so.
is, you need to be aware of it, basically, if you want to play in that game.
Seriously, now we're projecting ourselves on 18 months, not more, because we don't know what is going to happen.
Interesting.
I think there is something that is going to last, and this will be your first, I guess, is NFTs, because it's less about speculation. It's a technology, right? But it improved a lot of sectors, and it gave a lot of possibilities. And I mean, I'm not a big collector, you know, but well, we have this project, but besides, I think there is great opportunities around this. But again, you just need to know, to understand the sector, what they are selling, and because we're starting to experience some project NFTs for anything, right? It's like a keyword. So
Yes,
we're gonna
it
put
is.
a fucking NFT somewhere. We don't know what it's for. It's not art. It's not nothing.
Yeah.
But I heard them more and more and
Yeah,
more.
you hear
stuff
it
like
everywhere
this.
now.
It
You hear
doesn't
it
make any
everywhere.
sense, but anyway,
Yeah.
you know.
No, you hear it anywhere now, and they're actually, like, Ralph is one of the big drivers also in the region for NFTs. If there are no questions, then I'll ask myself. Your experience in Dubai. You switched to Dubai, the reasons, and how is the market different? Is it like, I mean, obviously it's different in Switzerland. Everywhere is different in Switzerland. But what has been your experience over here, plus, minus? What are your thoughts? What were the driving reasons to come over here?
There are a lot of different reasons. I came the first time in 1998 to Dubai, so that's quite a while ago. And I saw Dubai, and
I wasn't born.
and in 1998 I saw Dubai, and I was wondering, what are they building there? This is internet city and media city. Who is gonna use that, and why should you come here? And I thought, okay, probably this is the biggest bet in the world, and let's see if this bet is working out. And today you see the result. And it's a little bit like big blockchain projects. You build an infrastructure and you hope that someone is going to use it. Yeah? Dubai built an amazing infrastructure, and people from all over the world came to use it. And I betted on that already a few years ago because I really liked it. And last year in March, there was an article, I think in the New York Times, and it was, Dubai is hit by this COVID crisis, travel industry, real estate industry, logistics, everything. But I really liked the last sentence in this New York Times article. The last sentence was, never bet against Dubai. Huh? And then look at last year. In July, Dubai reopened slowly. In September, it was nearly back to normal. And now compared with the whole world. And there's a big reason for that. The government here owns a big part of the infrastructure. They own a lot of things, the travel industry, the hotels, the restaurants, and then you think twice to close that down. In Europe, the government usually owns nothing, or the politicians owns nothing. So they have another way to decide at the end of the day. And I believe we will have similar situations which we had the last 1.5 years or the last year, also in the future. And I bet Dubai still will be open for business in this time. And so a lot of people will meet here. And we saw this the last 6 months. I mean, the standard sentence in Dubai was, I came for a week. This is 6 months ago or 3 months ago. So, and if this remains, Dubai can be the capital for blockchain and crypto worldwide.
Very interesting. Let's hope that. We have half a minute, so we will leave the panel with a short answer to the following note. We invest in
NFTs. Gaming NFTs.
Teams.
That's it for us. Thank you very much to the panelists, and I promise to keep the time. We're early 24 seconds.
Very good.
Thanks for your attention, guys.
Never bet against Dubai.
Yeah, that's the one, no?
That's the takeaway from this.